I feel so cool after that mute.
I
That
know, man.
fucking
That's pretty awesome.
drop. I feel like we should be like in some superhero movie or something.
Dun, dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun,
We're live right now. Yeah, I guess we are.
dun,
What's
dun, dun.
Little Sanford and Son.
Yep, they're superheroes.
Dude, this like
Dun, dun, dun.
I was.
Well, what's up, everybody? You may not see my face right now, but I'll drive the ship tonight. Anna John Addict here. I'm gonna go down the line, say what's up to the rest of the guys. Mr. Brian Brink, what you messing with over there? How you doing?
I'm messing with a little Vanessa Warfield,
Nice. The whip action helmet.
the whip action helmet, and
What
I
was
do
her
have
helmet?
her-
Was is it
I have her
Whiplash? Was it her?
I think it was whip,
Yeah.
maybe whiplash. Say for sure.
Dude, I saw that. That's a nice find in good shape. How are the 300ZX stickers on the quarter on the rockers?
The rockers,
The green stickers on the sides.
oh,
Down
phenomenal.
there. Yeah. The ZX. Yep. See.
Wow.
Oh, is that what that says?
Yeah. It's what. Well, it's a ZX because that's what the car is. Yeah.
And I think these are tampoed on, Gary. I don't think these are stickers. So yeah, man, this thing, this guy came from some collection that this Eternia Dreams people found, and everything was in immaculate shape. So, it was kinda
Yeah.
cool.
So that's where you picked it up.
Ejection seat works good still.
Yep, I just dropped her out. One thing I love about this thing is the ejection seat cannot fall out while
Correct.
the wings are closed, because I'm always hitting the wrong button. So,
So-
you don't have to worry about the ejection seat falling out if you haven't transformed it. so to
Now,
speak.
one thing that used to drive me nuts with my OCD as a kid on that car, flip it upside down again, right, with the wings down, and you'll see how those lasers on the tips of the wings, so that they can
Yes.
fit underneath, they're not equidistant from the tip of the wing on each side.
Correct. See,
So that used to drive you crazy. Yeah, so they slide in there.
but when you look at it from a distance, you can barely tell.
But the way the front wheels flipped around always reminded me of, what's her name? Shark, her Porsche submarine. Because it had a similar design for the front wheels in the cartoon.
Toy that was never made.
Correct. Never made.
What was her name? Veronica? No. God damn it.
Oh, there you go.
Hello.
You just need to start answering that
Okay.
on air.
It's like it's election season, so it's all like
From Christ Williams.
some
Yeah, Price
Crass
Williams.
Williams.
Christ-
Who's Crass Williams?
Call from Christ Williams.
Chris Williams, maybe?
Chris Williams.
Is he a basketball player?
Call from Christ Williams.
It sounds like Crash Williams.
Call from Christ Williams.
Crunch.
Maybe Christ.
I'm gonna have fucking
Christ?
nightmares of that tonight.
Might be Jesus Christ calling you.
Maybe.
Jesus
Um,
Christ Williams.
Yep.
Call
Gloria
him.
Baker. That's who it
Gloria
was.
Baker.
He wants your vote.
Yeah, because they eventually gave her that stiletto Countach toy.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is trash.
It is, yeah.
Trash. So anyway, yeah, this is one I always wanted as a kid, never got, and I'm glad to get it in immaculate condition. And I love the fact that it comes with a pristine box that I can actually sell and get some money back on this, since I don't care about the box. So
Ooh.
that'd be
Nice.
good. Of course, I've never sold anything before, so I'll probably never sell it. or get around to it. But yeah, are we going through the updates, the weekly update, Dave? Is that how we're doing it?
Weekly update. Maybe you could tell us what you did this weekend. I know
Yeah,
you
that's
had
what I'm
a-
talking about.
Yeah.
All right, first I have a question for you. I have a
Uh-oh.
question. So you find a new restaurant, in this case specifically a pizza place.
Mm-hmm.
In order to gauge how much you're gonna like this pizza place, do you have a specific set of things that you order to determine whether or not it's gonna be on your top list as a place to frequent or a place to look forward to, anything like that? Like, what would be your top items from a pizza shop to get to determine the quality of said pizza shop.
Chicken parmesan, baked ziti, and a slice of pizza.
Jesus.
For real?
No, I'm just no.
Just rattled off the first thing that came to mind.
I just did a tour of Italy, but no. My first, I would say, I would say the second time I order something from a pizza place or something, and I still like it, then yes, then it's a keeper.
Well, okay. So are you going there for a specific purpose to try it out? What would be your first one?
Pizza, pretty much.
Okay. From a pizza place, yeah.
From a
sense.
pizza place, yeah.
Anybody else want to chime in on that?
Yeah, mine would be the same as Dom. It starts with the pizza. If it's good, I'll branch out from there. Actually, pizza and chicken fingers.
Ooh.
I gotta have some slamming chicken fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Gary?
Yeah, I'm gonna say the same thing.
Yeah, I think you got to try. I like pizza with lots of stuff on it, but I think if you're trying it, you got to go kind of basic, just to see how it is by itself. So something that's plain or just pepperoni, but
Like
before you
sausage
get crazy,
and pepperoni.
before you get too crazy for stuff.
If their sausage is sliced like pepperoni, you're in a good place.
Mm.
I like the chunks,
Yeah, I
man.
mean, you get the big pepperoni-sized pieces of sausage. Yeah,
Oh, I love that.
you're in a good place.
I like the sausage when they kind of shave it. It kind of looks like
Bacon bits.
like
A
a
chip.
gyro or a gyro. You know how they kind of shaved
Shaved long
Yeah.
ways. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't like that either.
well,
I want the chunks.
anyway, when I'm trying out a new pizza place, it is a large pizza, half pepperoni, an order of mozzarella sticks, and a cheesesteak.
Wow, you go for the sub.
Yeah,
What's
so
So what's on the other
I
half of the
mean-
pizza? Just cheese?
just cheese.
Oh.
I never go full peps.
That's a lot of cheese to get
Um,
mozzarella sticks and the pizza and stuff. That's
Well, I
And
don't
a
necessarily.
cheesesteak?
I don't necessarily get them all at the same time.
No wonder you can't shit.
Exactly.
I don't necessarily get them at the same time, but
gotcha.
there's a specific type of mozzarella stick that I like, and to be honest, if they're gonna have that, then that's gonna be the place that I go to.
Cheese makes your head, feel like you're taking a monster shit, and only a little poop comes out.
But
Listen, guys, be nice.
but anyway, there's this place up the street near me which has gone through 4 different pizza shop
Oh.
owners.
Oh, so this is under new management.
Well, yeah. So the first one that was there, their pizza was trash because they had one of those conveyor belt ovens. So fuck them. But they did make a breakfast pizza, which was pretty good. They made a breakfast pizza.
Conveyor.
Yeah, it's the oven with the
Yeah.
conveyor belt, right?
Yeah,
Well, that's
like
what Pizza Hut
Domino's.
uses.
Yeah,
Fucking
it's
Quiznos.
Yeah, all your chains
fucking
use
shit.
that
It's
shit.
fucking shit. I don't care. I don't care who you are. If you own a pizza place, you get a fucking oven with a door that
Yeah.
opens, and you got to reach in with the fucking keyhole to get.
Yeah, brick oven.
And then there is, and then it changed hands to another spot, which was pretty good. And then it changed hands again, and they never really got off the ground. And then like this bar next to it, they bought the place. Now the interesting thing is, after this place got purchased by the last owners, I noticed that some of the food was the same, but other food was different. So but it turns out today I finally got a pizza from there, and they carried over the same recipe from the other place, and it was just no good.
Yeah. Well,
Their mozzarella sticks are terrible as well. They got the wrong kind, but I tell you what, they make a cheesesteak fucking blow your fucking socks off, man. And not only that, their chicken cheesesteak is just as good, if not better. Good chicken cheesesteak's also good. So anyway, that's what I wanted to ask you guys. Other than that, my weekend was really good. You know what? Maybe I'll just go on one of these Dom rants. So also, I broke the quarantine seal, and I
Wow.
hung out with people in close proximity without wearing a mask this weekend.
and you didn't blow up.
Wow.
No. Well, I'll find out now, Dom, in
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
13 more days, something like that.
I have a feeling you're going to be okay.
Yeah, so I hung out with my family. My sister-in-law had a baby shower, and we found out it's a boy, which is
Oh.
cool. Yeah. So
Congrats,
now I'm gonna
man.
have 2 nephews. My nephew of 2 years old, I found out, is left-handed, so that also fucking made my weekend right there. Shout out to left-handers not having to learn cursive anymore. Because my dad used to make me practice my letters and my penmanship because you just couldn't fucking read it, and all those lost hours and long car rides writing letters on loose leaf paper, all for nothing.
All that would help you read such important documents like the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence.
That's right. That's
Who
right.
wants to read that shit anyway?
Yeah.
Apparently not enough people, Dom. That's okay.
Yeah, you can't. That's why we learn cursive, so you can read the Constitution, which just happens to be online in any language, in any form of print.
Oh, it's a slippery slope. It's,
Yeah.
turn cursive into hieroglyphics.
Right.
Wing peg.
And then the day after that, we went to this place called Longwood Gardens, which is about 25 minutes from here. Huge outdoor venue, gardens and fountains and things like that. And I typically go once a year with the fam anyway, and it's always a good time.
Was that where the party was at, or
No, the party was
was that
at their
their house?
home
Oh,
in
gotcha.
Philly. Yeah.
did they do any special kind of gender reveal type?
No,
or just-
no gender reveals, no forest fires,
No
resulting
forest
from
fires.
gender reveals.
No explosive gender reveals.
And it turns out they did not want to know the sex of the baby, but when they got some of their pictures back from their sonograms or whatever,
Oh, you can tell.
He's a big boy.
Yeah.
yeah, it actually had like something written on the picture.
Is he a tripod?
MALE.
Oh,
Yeah, so they're like, "Hey, look at that. We didn't ask. Now we know." But the thing is they were lying to all their friends, saying that they didn't know what it was.
Very nice, man. That sounds awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, so it was a good weekend.
What about you, Mr. Dominic? How you doing?
How you doing? I'm doing good. My weekend was nice. Saw you this weekend.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, that was Saturday, right? We went up and had a nice get together. It was nice. The food was really, really good. I can just eat that mac and cheese forever. I wish it was my pillow.
So, Dom, won't you tell them where you were at?
Well, we went to Eric's house, and Eric Joel invited us over for some barbecue, which he has been smoking all day long and cooking in his backyard, which was cool. And so I ended up driving up, made a day of it. My wife went to visit her cousin, and I drove over to Dave's house and picked him and Ian up. And we ended up driving over to Eric's and just having a good old boys barbecue outside with some drinks and meat.
That's
and,
cool.
So
Nice.
tell
and
us
mac
about
and
the
cheese.
meat. Tell us about the meat.
The meat was in varieties, Brian. It was in
Yes.
varieties.
Expound. Yes,
He
please.
had a nice brisket.
Oh,
That was very, very good. He thought he overcooked it. Thought it was dry, but to me, it was flavorful and tasty.
there's
So
a
the
lot
interesting
of
thing
Latin
about-
meat.
the interesting thing about brisket, so
Joke.
you gotta cook it forever, right?
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And sometimes you might think you overcooked it because you didn't cook it enough, which is what makes it dry and tough.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just gotta keep on cooking it.
No, it wasn't. I've had tough brisket. It was not even, close to that. So
That shit should melt in your mouth.
then he had some dinosaur ribs, like the ones that Flintstone got from the drive-through,
Uh-huh.
and actually can tip your car. Those things were pretty fucking huge and big. And he also had some chicken, barbecue chicken. It was really good, crispy, flaky right off the bone, and he did a good job. And then
So
we
he has
had a
he has a
mac and
smoker?
cheese. Yeah, he has a smoker. And
Yeah,
a
the
grill.
mac and cheese, we get it,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
but all right. So,
Dude, the mac
Yeah.
and cheese.
but he has an actual smoker.
Yes, he has
Yeah.
a smoke. He has a little a mini smoker in the back. Yeah.
I think I want to get one next year.
It was pretty cool. And then I brought dessert. I brought a cake.
Carvel,
No, just a regular bakery cake.
Fudgy the whale.
It was with strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate. It was one of those types of cakes, but it was real good. And then I think Dave's cousin Frank, right? He bought some of these awesome fucking what were they like cupcakes? Like,
Yeah, basically, Little Debbie, the oatmeal cream pies,
yeah.
Mhm.
version of those cupcake form. So
Quick
it was a
form, yeah,
cupcake that tasted just like those.
Yeah.
An oatmeal cupcake. Interesting.
hmm
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Did he bake them or
Special.
did he buy them at a bakery and bring them?
Nah, my aunt made them. His mom.
Nice. That's
Oh,
cool.
Were you baked after you ate them?
little
It's
bit in
funny you
between.
say that. The minute he got in the car, that's what they asked him. Like, are they special cupcakes?
Are these? Yeah.
You know, related to me, you got to ask the question.
Yeah. Are they special cupcakes?
Are they safe for everyone?
hmm
Are they medicinal?
It was great. It was the cooler was full of beer and drinks, and
That sounds good, man.
even-
that sounds
even-
like a fun time.
even E was making drinks. Like he was cocktailing it up inside and bringing out some drinks for the boys, especially
Sweet.
Dave, since Dave drinks cocktails.
couldn't-
And,
Yeah.
I couldn't. The thing is, I couldn't drink it, Dom. So I
Yeah,
would
no,
take
no.
in the front, and I would take a sip and pass it to my cousin Frankie, who drank the whole thing.
yeah, and,
So-
and then he even asked for a second because it was so good.
Yeah.
So Dom, who was in charge of busting out the dad jokes? They had some cocktails since I wasn't there.
No, no. We actually didn't really make any jokes about it, but
Wow, man.
because it ended up like Ian and Frank had another round of them because they were so good. So Eric made another second round, and he those two went in on it again. Which obviously Frank, since he drank Dave, so I'm sure he already had a taste of it. So, but I brought some almond palmers. They have this like new almond palmer drink, which is like iced tea and lemonade with vodka. It's a drink that you can buy at your local liquor store, and it goes down smooth.
That's Jose's jam.
Yeah.
Yes, so Jose likes to drink that.
Yeah, I brought a case of those, and we got some Coronas going. It was good. It was really good. Chatting up with the boys, just cracking jokes. Meeting Frank for the first time. He's we anointed him as one of the REM ROC Chiefs meetups, and I wish it was a little different this year. He probably would have got we were trying to explain to him what our meetups would consist of. This of all the shenanigans and bullshit that we get into. But
Was there any rock swapping going on while you guys were there?
yes, well, of course, yeah, a little bit. I got Dave a gift because wanted to cheer him up, and he can share that when he talks. But Dave did give me a figure that we were in long connections to exchange for a while because we barely meet up with what's going on with the world today. So, but it was good, and I think then Eric brought some toys out. We just capped the night with fooling around with some action figures and some Marvel Legends. We've seen his new Motu collection, which is growing exponentially because he's just killing it.
He's sucked in.
Yeah, but it looks good. Like it looks. I gotta say, classics. May not be the best quality figure, but they sure fucking look great. So, but other than that was
Funny.
it.
I had that conversation with Gary earlier today.
Yeah. So, and Sunday was a quiet day. I just took care of some stuff. Did a little cleaning myself in my collection. Still, moving and shifting. I lift boxes up and put them down. So, no major toy hunting this week. It was a nice surprise that Mezco dropped an exclusive on a Saturday, which was really nice. That was like awesome because that was like in my travels as going to Dave's house. So it's like I was like, holy shit! You see your fucking IMs blowing up, and you're like, what the fuck is this going on? So, But
Good
because was it Batman Day? Was Batman Day like Saturday or something like
Wasn't that Friday? Yeah, it was one of
Friday,
those days,
Saturday,
like something
yeah.
like that.
So Mezco has to drop a Batman. Batman. So, but that's concludes my weekend, and then Monday, back to work.
No doubt. Thanks for sharing. How about
No
Mr.
problem.
JD? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. Went and hung out with my mom on Sunday, and Chan made chili. Our oven broke down. It was,
Oh my God!
yeah,
You guys and appliances.
Yeah, dude.
2020. It's not good.
no. So we're on the hunt
I'll like
for something.
better like walk to your fridge and say, "You fucking break down! I swear to God."
Well, that was the last thing that broke down. Was the
Yeah,
fact-
I know.
Is it just the oven or the stove too?
No, the stove is separate.
Oh,
The-
it's separate.
the stovetop is a gas range, and then the ovens it's a double oven, like a double wall oven.
Got you.
Yeah, so we're exploring options. My dad has some connections. I'm waiting to hear back from him. But yeah, went and hung out with my mom and ate chili and sat around a fire and
Mhm.
bullshitted about music and all that kind of stuff, and kept my mom company. It's a good time. And then we ran around for a little bit on Monday. I got this guy over the Friday or Saturday.
It's that 1,000 toys.
Slayer. Yeah.
Oh,
Now, did you get it, or did you?
$1,000
Chance said that you got that for her last night.
I mean, everything that comes into this house is
I know, I'm just
for
kidding.
us. It was kind of a surprise because
it's
like
ours.
none of the retailers have this yet.
No,
Like-
I'm gonna buy my wife 1,000 toys. Fucking flying too.
that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. My next Christmas for my wife.
How funny would that be? We start buying our wives.
Oh,
toys
dude,
and that.
dude! If I start buying her toys, she'll be
Why
like,
can't you be more like Chan?
"Oh shit!" That's like
But-
that's like a light thrown at me and a couple dishes.
That's abusive.
It is. But when you're my size, JD, it just doesn't. It doesn't. The word abuse doesn't come into the picture.
Yeah, I like him a lot. It's like,
That's good.
I mean,
Yeah,
you can get that fucking.
Did you ever pick up the what is it? Is it McFarlane that's doing the other ones, or is it
Halo?
for Halo? Yeah. No.
I mean, McFarlane had Halo at one time.
Mhm.
I
Who's doing
have
Halo?
some of them.
Is it
Mattel had it.
who's it now?
think-
Like, isn't
I
somebody coming up with like Jazzwares or? Is it the
No, I
people
thought.
or
Oh,
is it-
okay.
those
Frank said
people-
Jazzwares is doing it.
Yeah.
I don't
see.
know. We'll see what comes down the pike from this 1,000 toy shit.
Yeah.
I'd like an arbiter. That would be great.
That's the thing with 1,000 toys. You got to be careful because they don't go. If they do go deep or if they do extend from one figure, it takes a while for them to do it.
Yeah, it takes them a while. Yeah, but
It's not like you're gonna get like 3 or 4 figures in that specific line out a year.
no. But yeah, got a lot of cool stuff lately though. That's for sure. Love that Mafex Batman. He's standing next to my Hellboy, and then I have him.
Mm.
Then we got him. Yeah, it's good stuff. Anyway, yeah.
Good
How about
shit.
you, Dave? Who's next?
I'll go last. I'm
Okay.
gonna let Gary go.
Okay. I tried to keep it going, but
Yeah,
You did a good job.
So weekend was nice. Got a little bit of pool time in on Saturday before the
There you
weather
go.
turned ugly, and got stormy with the storms going through the Gulf again for a little bit. did some reading. I'm about 2/3 done with the Star Wars Phasma novel, so it's actually pretty good. So once I finish, I'll put that up in the realm. If somebody else wants to read it, I'll drop it in the mail and pass it on. But it's a decent story. Get a little background history on that character that you don't get to see in the movies before she's gone. What else happened? I binged that Netflix show Ratched. Anybody else watch that?
I saw something for it, but I watched the Challenger thing instead.
With Sarah Paulson? Yeah, it's decent. If you're a fan of the American Horror Story series on FX, how they do it, it's very similar feel to that. So it's like 8 episodes. Some of the same actors and actresses are in it together, but it's a decent watch for something entertaining. And very exciting, Dave. I also have to thank your cousin Frank, because he tagged me in a post, and I finally completed a team of my Jurassic Park Velociraptors. So for the Amber collection that they started last year, I have like the regular generic Raptor, and then I have Blue, Charlie, and Delta. So I actually followed through and finished a team, which is pretty awesome.
Would you pick up the rest of the 3? Like what?
I just periodically I had gotten one of them from GameStop, and then Blue and Charlie were BBTS within the last like 6 months.
Okay.
And then I just hadn't seen the Delta anywhere, like for pre-order. It wasn't on BBTS. It wasn't on any of the stores. And then Frank had saw a post where it was sold out, and then when it came back in stock on Amazon, he tagged me in it, so I was able to pick it up for there. So that's pretty good. Cool. And it's a typical thing we're used to as collectors. It's a bunch of repaints, right? But they do all look different, and they've got some different eye paint apps and all different colors, so it looks pretty good up there on the shelf. With my,
I hope they do some Jurassic 3 Raptors with like the fucking mohawks and the feathers. Some had like feathers and shit.
They did. I've got the whatchamacallit, the one that like spits on Newman. The Dilophosaurus.
Yeah.
So I've got that. Oh, and then I started watching that. Actually, speaking of Jurassic Park, yeah, it's pretty entertaining. A little animated show called Camp Cretaceous.
That was on Netflix, right? I saw that on Netflix.
Yeah, I'm actually about halfway through that too. I think I'm on season, so it's pretty entertaining. And now, what's neat is it mentions the movie characters by name in different settings and things like that. So
now, Gary, when you watched that on this weekend, did you bring all your dinosaur toys around you and have them watch them with you?
No, but I do find myself looking up at the shelf quite a bit when they're there. So, and that shelf makes me happy now because I've got it's the top shelf because I've got the. Well, I guess it's not really a Brontosaurus anymore, right? What's the really tall one with the big neck? Oh, I'm drawing a blank. My mind can't think today. Thank you. Yes, so he's on the top shelf with the 4 Raptors, and then I've got my, I got Star-Lord there in his other, character outfit in the corner. So it's good.
Gary,
it's a nice shelf. I like it.
If I was to tell you that Brachiosaurus is pulling $500 in the aftermarket, how long would it stay on your shelf?
$500? Yeah, I think he'd go. And I'd live without him up on that shelf. But I would turn that around and I'd buy something like I normally wouldn't buy, like a super expensive Lego set or something, something a little bit more out of the norm for me. So I'd just turn around and buy something else fun with it. But yeah, I think he would go. But I do like having the full Raptor team, and you guys know I'm not the guy that finishes a shelf necessarily or looks for a group, But this is probably I think the first time I finished an entire group, and it feels good to see it. I get it when you guys talk about filling that last spot with a character. I kind of get it. I've got some empathy now for that. So
Gary, do you need a Star-Lord figure? I might have a spare one around here to team the Raptors.
No, I've got the.
It's got the amber.
Yeah, the amber collection of.
They came out with a version.
My brain cannot think, but yeah, I've got the real guy.
The real Chris Pratt.
Yes, yeah. Exactly.
So, and do you have him standing in that pool of urine because he's surrounded by raptors? Because that's funny.
No, but he is holding the taco that came with Marvel Legends Deadpool, so it's kind of funny. But yeah, Dave, how about you? We know where you went on Saturday. What was the rest of your weekend like?
Was there mac and cheese in your weekend? Just
not much better than that, dude, honestly.
Mac and cheese, yo.
So I'm reading all the comments in tonight's comments. and I did not forget to pay my light bill. Okay,
Yeah.
not that I don't have my eyebrows done,
Oh man.
and the Ewok did
Turn it
not
down.
give me a black eye. So
Oh, it did.
I'm just not really feeling great, guys. I have an ailment, and I basically don't want to be sitting up at attention with the lights on. So I'm laying down, taking one for the team today. But my weekend was good. I mean, I want to elaborate a little more on that get together that we had this weekend, 'cause it's really been a long time. We haven't seen each other since February.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm feeling the way I was this weekend. I almost, didn't make it, but the plan had been set, probably for a week or a week and a half prior. I didn't want to ruin it for anybody, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna suck it up and I'm gonna go, because if I stayed home, I probably would have, wanted to be there, and I would have, had that FOMO, feeling and stuff. So.
Right.
I'm glad I went, because ultimately we had, even though I wasn't able to participate the way I would like, I didn't get to eat as much as I would like to, or drink or whatever. Still being around the guys was nice, sharing stories and laughs and shit. And again, like, Dom said, we, my cousin Frank came. He's been in the group for a few months now. He's made a few friends with a few of you. He's, obviously with Eric. So Eric had invited him on his own. And it was just nice to see, like you see someone new come in, and see how naturally it flows. It's like no awkwardness. Like you never, it's just like how we met. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, we talked on the internet or on phones prior to meeting one on one. But when we get together, it's like, oh shit, like nothing. No awkwardness. And again, it was like that this weekend. So it was fun.
But that's a good point, man, because I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. Go
ahead.
I just really missed all the hanging out at the events, because inevitably we'd get a chance to meet somebody new, right? Or meet somebody in person that we had talked in the chats, in spite of the, having fun and normal stuff. So you're right. That's pretty cool, because it's going on a year now, right? I mean, the last, kind of time we were able to get together was, I think, wasn't it November last year?
Yeah.
Right at ToyCon, that was really the last time before the holidays hit, and then the world slid. So I know any time we did that, when we go to lunch at Wild Wings and stuff, we'd usually end up seeing somebody else, and talking to somebody else. Same thing for the NJCCs. So that's I'm missing that a lot. That component of getting together like that.
Yeah, it was really nice, man. And I haven't necessarily played with toys with my boys in a long time, and just being there in Eric's backyard, and him pulling out pieces of his collection that maybe were brought up in conversation, or he just said, oh, we want to see my new stuff. He just would bring stuff out, and it was just like, I looked around, and it was just like so cool again. That feeling that you get when we're all together just messing around with our shit.
Yep.
He brought out some new legends that he had bought, and I don't collect those, so I just found them so interesting. Like this little Megatron that he pulled out, it was like, yo, this looks just like the MP. And he was like, he showed me the reasoning why he was getting into legends, and he brought out Fort Max. He put Fort Max on the table, and then he put those little legends out right in front of it.
Nice.
And I was like, that looks kind of cool, man. I get it. So yeah, definitely good times. Eric, if you're listening, if you're not, just want to thank you for that. I think we all needed it. I needed it especially. It gave me a little boost this weekend, and thanks again. Aside from that, I just been home, not really doing much. I haven't been able to really mess with my stuff. I haven't been in the toy room, but that's all depressing. I don't want to talk about that.
Dude, guys, you gotta go. Like, eventually, if you ever go back into Dave's room, he has an assembly line of fucking Mythic Legions, dude. It's just like, it's like he's like, it's just the customs that he's made, and the whole wall, like that, the whole closet side that is adjacent to the Transformer stuff, it's all Mythic Legions. It's amazing in what he did.
So before we went live, you guys were ragging on me and giving me a hard time about how the toys feel coming into my collection and questioning like how long they might be there, or before they move on. So what do they feel like in Dave's house now when a new toy shows up there in the mail and they see what that looks like, Dom? That's
it's like Sid in Toy Story, and they're like,
exactly,
they're like,
yeah,
they're gonna
exactly.
get pulled apart and changed into a
They're gonna
different
cut
color.
them to pieces.
Well, if you're a wrestling figure, definitely,
Yeah, exactly.
for
Apparently, yeah, exactly.
It'd be
It's
like
funny
they're
though,
running
Gary.
for the
Remember
hills.
you had mentioned that if we ever went to another toy show, you'd want to see me look for fodder.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Eric's son had a huge bin of like
Yep,
toys
yep,
he
yep.
didn't play with, and I was like looking through it. I was like, oh, I want to. He's like, go ahead. He was like, look through it. I was like, no, I can't do that to a kid.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm prepared to give you $2 of real money.
And
Yeah.
he pulled some like his
For all-
McFarlane Fortnite figures out that his son was collecting, and it's like we were fucking around with those things. But it was,
Oh
it
yeah,
was
that's
cool.
right.
It was good. Yeah, that Magic Square Megatron looks really good. It's amazing what they did. So it just looks exactly like the masterpiece.
Hey JD, we have a question for you in the chat.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that Master Chief being the Halo 1 Master Chief, yet coming with an energy sword? I would have also liked a grenade.
I mean, I'm okay with it. I know it's not proper, but yeah, I'm okay with it. I mean, they could have given him any accessories. They could have given him a rocket launcher, shotgun, grenades. I mean, grenades would just get lost. It's
So
just
based on the
little ball.
question, I'm assuming that the first Master Chief did not have an energy sword.
You couldn't use one. They were in the game. You just couldn't use it.
Oh, I see. Like only the enemies got it?
Wait, is that right? It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't until Halo 2.
All
You
right,
could
next
use the
question.
energy sword. Yeah,
What differentiates a Halo 1 Master Chief from a...
the armor.
Okay.
It's different armor. Like the dead giveaway, it would be his fists. In Halo 2, it has like there's
Ridges. It's a-
no, it's
flat.
not ridges. They're like circles that are cut out of them.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the armor, of course, is different, slightly. But yeah, I'm okay with it. I like that he came with it.
Cool.
So there's your answer. I mean, a rocket launcher or a sniper rifle would have been great too, but or a shotgun. Shotgun's my shit.
Hey Nikki,
What's up?
you had a topic tonight, didn't you?
Yeah, I had several ones. I guess I can just pick one. I'm assuming.
Hey, real quick, before we get into topics, I'm sorry,
No problem.
but Hasbro today revealed a HasLab campaign for something called Hero Quest.
Really?
Yeah. Qui-Gon, sir, I have a question. What's Hero Quest? Do you guys remember that?
No
It's funny.
fucking idea.
I heard Yoda talking about midi-chlorians.
Right.
I have a question. What the hell are midi-chlorians? So, yeah, what's Hero Quest? Anybody know?
Nope.
Okay. All right.
no.
Probably a card game.
No, it's more of a board game that's very Dungeons and Dragons in its feel, but it's with a structured board and miniature pieces that you play with, and there were it was a little easier to set up and play without having the experience of someone leading like a D&D campaign.
Dungeon Master. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's multiple expansions and stuff over the years, and somewhere in the U.S. and somewhere in other countries. But actually, pretty strong following. I think from like the late '90s into like the early 2000s, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Hasbro. Pardon me. Nick says Hasbro has it from the WotC, which Qui-Gon, sir, what's the WotC? You know.
Wizards of the Coast.
Oh, okay.
Wizards
What?
of the Coast. They have boogie boards.
No, Wizards of the Coast was the original company that created Magic the Gathering in 1994 before they got bought out.
Qui-Gon, sir, what
Is
is
it-
a TSR game?
All right.
Grammar speaks in acronyms that I don't
that's
know.
okay.
Yo, Nick, get the fuck in here.
just
Somebody
type the
send him
shit
the
out,
link.
man. Just type the shit out, Nick. I mean, well, I don't know what these acronyms. It took me forever to figure out what LCS was whenever he would say it on MPSB Theater.
Oh, yeah, your local comic shop.
Yeah, I was like, well, my LCS has it. I'm like,
No,
your local senator or something.
like I have a feeling like everyone on this panel would be entertained playing it because it's where some of the other role-playing games where you get really connected to your characters. And shout out to Clutch, talking about his on building up to this week, and they were talking about Community when they had the D&D episode, because that's one of my favorite episodes of all time. You get attached to your character for so long when you would play, right? Especially people who would play like years over years. Whereas like this other game, something you could kind of start and play and not have to have that like history to it. So that's actually pretty fun. I think I could see it being okay. I didn't see any of the HasLab stuff for it, so it's kind of interesting that's a concept that would be set up that way. But
I took a quick look at the campaign, and they're not doing it by number of backers. They're doing it by amount of money raised. So basically, you have different tiers that you buy into, and the target is $1 million, Gary.
that's pretty
Of
crazy.
course it is.
And they are
Yeah.
up to $705,000
See,
already.
I know there's a strong following for it.
Wow,
Yeah.
dude.
It's
So they're up to 705,000 of $1 million backing.
Yep, since it started today.
Wow. Jesus, they're doing something right.
well,
Work against progress. I don't know.
is he talking about the Fetty
That's,
Wap?
God
rapper?
damn. So, Knight of Ren, I can't track. So I would have to create a different type of graph because my graphs all track backers, not dollars. So it would still, unless there's some kind of backer to dollar formula. I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah, it would screw your axis if you took $1 as a backer and then you have $1 million on your axis. It just would make everything else
you know
small.
what? You guys want to see something? You want to hear something interesting? While we're talking about backers, sorry to tangent, but yeah, I got good news at work today, so I'm just in a good fucking mood.
Hey, Dom, somebody took over your spot on the show.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
don't worry.
Yeah.
I love when Brian talks.
Well, here. Okay, then. Well, at the end of the day, let's take a look at the because at the end of the day, it's all about the backers. No, but so when the HasLab campaign for the Sentinel ended, I watched it that night. They were at 22,500 something, and they have kept it up for you to look at. And as of last night, it was at 21,924. So basically
People
almost
dropped out because they
almost
didn't make
600 orders dropped off.
Yeah.
Now I find this very interesting because they're being very transparent about it. Like when that Unicron thing hit, they didn't even tell you how many people it was. You had to calculate the progress bar in order to even come close to figuring out how many were actually purchased. So, but at this one, it's still out there, and as the numbers dwindle, they're showing the numbers dwindle. So I think it's very interesting, the transparency that's going on here, and a lot of people give Hasbro shit, but obviously there are departments inside Hasbro for all these different brands, and it seems the only shady brand are the ones with those fucking robots that transform into shit. Yeah.
Well, there are robots in disguise.
Yeah.
You know?
So and we've talked about this before. I mean, the fandom is bred by what they follow. So obviously, Transformers don't set a good example for fans, and that's why the fandom for the Transformers is shit.
This is your conclusion.
That's my conclusion. Analyzed.
Brainwashed.
Lawyered.
I'm sorry, Dom. Did you have a topic? My
No,
bad.
no. It's fine. It's fine. I did not. I can only assume that people are dropping, like, when charging credit cards, they probably, were the wrong credit card, or telling them to back out or whatever. So
Yeah,
you're gonna get a lot of that. So hopefully it doesn't go below the, what was the last threshold? Was it 20,000?
I don't. Yeah, I don't
Oh,
think I have to
yeah.
worry
What
about
they
that.
need? 6,000 or something
Yeah.
like that. I'm sure it's
So-
fine.
I'm sure it's fine. But the topic that I had, I wanted to revisit a topic that we discussed on the show like a while back when we started talking about Black Series versus SH Figure Arts, especially in the line in regards to Star Wars. I seen, I think we talked numerous times about the comparison and how those two lines and the price differentiation between the two versus the quality and the class of them, and whether you're getting your bang for your buck versus the SH Figure Arts or your Black Series. So I think with, like, when I noticed these last releases that are coming out, especially from the red and black box wave, and then now these new waves that are coming out in stores, I just feel that, like, I don't know, it's just my own opinion, but I just feel like, there's a part of me who I did start getting into SH Figure Arts Black, Star Wars stuff, and I was just like, for the amount of money that I'm paying for those figures, it's to me now more than ever is not worth it for me, because the Black Series and what they're doing with head sculpts now, I know it's going to differ from other people who are more on the articulation end of their priority in figures and what they want in a figure, but I just feel like with my likeness and what I look for figures, like with sculpt and accuracy of head sculpt and all that stuff, I think Black Series is definitely coming or matching or exactly what SH Figure Arts are putting out, and it's sometimes even beating it in some perspectives and some other characters. But I just wanted to know your thoughts, and I know we had a discussion about this, and there was definitely a gap there, but whether you feel that gap is closing, and even in the articulation, I'd like to hear from JD, because I know he plays more with his toys than I do, but but like at the end of the day, is he even in the articulation? I know in Black Series has made some of those steps in articulation, that's especially with the neck joint, and they are going with a better Stormtrooper, if with the knees and everything that they did. So I was wondering, to hear from you guys and what you guys felt or feel.
Figure Arts who?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't really put anything out Star Wars. I mean, I know they've teased some stuff here. Like, I know the Emperor came out, and that was a big joke.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. Like, SH Figure Arts can just drop the license for all I care. Because, I mean, that Dooku, I think Dooku and Yoda were the last two Figure Arts that I bought. And Yoda is spectacular. Dooku,
Shit.
it's a piece of fucking shit.
Doo-doo.
It's just
Doo-doo.
Doo-doo.
Count
Right.
doo-doo. Yeah.
They put out a new Stormtrooper, like a New Hope style, which was really fantastic.
Yeah.
However, I've seen reviews of the new Black Series Stormtrooper, and it is also equally as fantastic, I think. So
Yeah. because I'm seeing reviews of that Stormtrooper, Brian, from the Black Series perspective, and it's coming very, even in the articulation, it's coming in very close to what SH Figure Arts is doing. So it's, you know, I just feel like, you know, as we help each other as collectors and understanding, you know, domestic and foreign, you know, action figures, and why, you know, obviously they cost, you know, SH Figure Arts, Mafex, and all that stuff costs a little bit more due to the fact that it's coming over from overseas. But it feels like, you know, Hasbro is giving us somewhat of a good, you know, stand-in. I would not even like, you know, a good, I don't know what word I'm looking for, but like definitely upping the competition and making buyers think like, you know, why am I going to spend? It's not even $65 anymore. It's like it's reaching up to $80, $85, $90.
I was gonna say you're in that $80 to $100 window,
and
it's
a
lot of these cases.
And it's like, you know, it's like the norm with a lot of these other vendors that oversee, like, you know, well, I know Mezco is not overseas, it's domestic, but like at the end of the day, you know, they're reaching the 100, like, you know, they're finding ways to creep out of that $80, you know, $85 range. So it's like, it's interesting what they're doing, and it's like, you know, as they, you know, as I see some conversations on that when new exclusives are coming out, they're adding T-shirts or posters or fucking decoder rings and pins, and just to get the extra $20, $30 out of you. And, you know, is it worth it when you're really just looking for the figure and any like accessories that would go with it? You know, I don't need all the bells and whistles. But, you know, I've seen Dave recently, and, you know, he does wear the Mezco T-shirts that he buys for, you know, $30, $40 to when they give it out for exclusives. But
what am I supposed to keep it in the fucking box?
I was just leaving myself up for that, Dave.
What's the point of ordering your shirt size if you're gonna keep it in the box to sell it to somebody that hopes you fit?
That's like going to Comic-Con and having an artist sign something addressed to you and then selling it.
Yeah. You're awesome, Brian.
Yeah, you're awesome, Brian. Wait.
I know.
He's trying to sell this comic book to me, you know.
So Dom, I don't really, you know, the Black Series, I kind of pick and choose, and well, admittedly, they're often like an in-store purchase. You know, when you get kind of bored, right? It's like I don't have a collection. I wouldn't call it that. It's just kind of something to mess with. And my only personal experience with figure arts, you know, I think are in Dave's collection right now, which was like an Anakin and a Padme from a couple of years ago that we did some trading for. But just looking, like, not to compare apples to pears, but, you know, like Legends, right? We'll steer away from G.I. Joe for a little bit because you guys will get angry at me. But the Movieverse Cable, the Amazon Wolverine that came in that looks really good and has really awesome claws for a Hasbro figure. And then I got the Domino this week, came in the mail. Like, looking at what you get for a $22 figure in terms of sculpting and paint work on these now, you know, the temptation to, like you said, JD, to spend another $60+ and track it down, like, just I don't have any desire. Like, I'm perfectly content with what those look like. Yep. You know, as far as shelf presence and looking enough like the real character and being entertaining enough to pose. And, you know, I think I told you, you know, Dave, I stole your technique about how to find some good poses for him and then just mimic them with the toy, and it's making the display look a million times more engaging to look at. As I'm looking over there now, but yeah, it doesn't. You know, I don't see the extra value anymore at all. You know, so
I mean, you're essentially paying for maybe an extra head, an extra set of hands, and some accessories. You know what I mean? It's not. Well, of course, like you get an ab crunch that you can actually like bend them teapot wise or something like that, and it's not really all that much more as far as the engineering and
but
I agree with you, JD, like totally, because it's like, it's funny because I think if Hasbro competes in that like in that extensive accessory department, and offers a deluxe, like they're start doing it now, where they offer a deluxe figure where it has multiple accessories in regards to hands and effects and
Well, they kind of already do it. You know what I mean? Like,
they do too. Yeah,
tack an extra $5 on that price. Throw 2 sets of hands in there,
Well, dude,
an
so
extra head.
let me tell you guys, like that Amazon Wolverine, right, in the white tank top, comes with 2 heads and 2 sets of hands with
Yeah,
like
very
claws
good.
and bone claws, right?
Yeah.
Domino comes with 2 head sculpts that both look good, and 2 pairs of different hands. The Cable only comes with 1 head sculpt, but he also has multiple hands, and multiple accessories. So I think the gap, even for that part, like, I've said, I would love to see an accessory pack now at this point, right, for Black Series, or just a bunch of like real, authentic weapons, and now for the Joes, I think you could do the same thing again, and just reissue the stuff that comes with the characters and paint it differently. But that gap for accessories, I think, is closing too. So I don't know, it's tough.
For me, though, the fact remains they're not including the extra hands, so fuck them. I'll pay the extra because I want the extra hands.
Yeah.
And I still get a good figure with it. But
Well,
dude, just have them do it. Just have them start including them, and I'll make the switch. Because I don't know. Do I have anything left to buy for Star Wars? I guess maybe, but I do. But some Ewoks. I'll buy their damn Ewoks.
Yeah.
I don't need extra hands for those, right? I'll buy Black Series Ewoks over Figure Arts Ewoks, I think, for sure. But I don't know what's going on now, but the other thing with these Figure Arts is the chase, right, to get them before they're out of stock. I mean, even in the Black Series, we've seen
even
that
Black
too.
Series is
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, more of a physical chase with Black Series rather than an internet chase, because that internet chase is more like there for SH Figure Arts because you can't get them in brick and mortar stores. So
Well, we do see that stuff sell out on Pulse a lot, but
yes,
you always get it. You have the other options.
other means and other
Yeah,
other
there's
vendors and
always-
stuff like that. Yeah.
So, me collecting, we'll say, the Black Series and Marvel Legends. More times than not, some of these characters, I'm buying multiples of them for customizing purposes. You know what I mean? So, with your Marvel Legends, you get hands that are splayed because they're superheroes and they're doing their magic or their superpowers or whatever. So you actually could, at a reasonable cost, have those extra hands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Customize them. And I can only assume from a customizing perspective, it's like, I see people do it. Don't get me wrong. I see people customizing Mezcos and customizing and other figures that are at a higher price level. But it's gotta hurt, like when you customize like an $85, $100 toy, and just spending that money to customize that, and then rather than just spending like on the $20 toy and customize, if as a customizer, I would probably lean towards the latter and say, I'd rather spend my money and as a $20 toy to customize, because I don't have too much in the game in regards to if I fucked up or it didn't come out the way I wanted it to come out to. It's my, you guys can share. I know you and Dave customize a lot of figures, but like, I can imagine when you see a toy for $85 and you want it to customize it because it has the look or whatever you want to customize it to.
I mean,
a good jumping point, but
my opinion on that is like, it depends what you're making. I know there are guys out there that they choose that route, like the Mezco route, or like these higher end figures just for the flippability of them, or just for the bragging rights, I only customize these. Blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? There are those people out there, you know what I mean?
And I understand Mezco's is totally different. Like it's not like because of the cloth goods and everything.
Yeah,
like that. It's a different realm in regards to customizing. But
like
comes
if I mean, it all like for me, it would all depend on the character that you're trying to make. Like,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Like I have some stuff on the way that um, I did pay a little bit more for. I did get it on sale, but like I have some stuff on the way that I will use for a custom. You know what I mean? And it'll I'll classify it as probably one of the most expensive customs that I'll make. You know what I mean? There's been a few of them where I spent some money on just to get the proper figure. You know what I mean? Huh?
So,
Mm.
Dave, were you saying something, Dave? Or no?
Dave,
Um,
he fell asleep.
I agree with you. I understand your perspective, JD, because you're saying that depending on what you want to customize, sometimes you have to go for those higher, that higher figure is the one that you need to work with because it's all it's giving you the parts or something that you need.
Yeah, it just depends on
I
what
got
you're
you.
trying to make and the availability of
Yep.
the parts. But still, it does kind of hurt. Like, I just paid
Yeah.
$70 for this thing. I'm gonna fucking tear it apart. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just to me, like, I know, like, like, I'm amazed in what some of these guys are doing with the customizations with someone like I understand Mythic Legions is like it's when you get into it because I can see people having no problems customizing a $40 figure or $35 figure when they buy it at that price, but then
Yeah,
getting it for like an $80 figure when you buy it on the aftermarket because you need that mold or you need that particular piece for that customization, spending $80 just to get that is kind of
it's
kind of hurts.
yeah. Takes a certain kind of blood to do that, I guess.
I got you, but and like the thing is like I just don't know like whether if this trend continues, will we ever see like those the foreign vendors who supply action figures come down on their prices to compete, to get back into the market, like or they still or because I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just talking out of my ass in regards to the have they made innovations to the point in SH Figure Arts where they made drastic leaps to saying that it's worth this is why it's worth $100.
Well, Dom, you got to take it back, right? So I've been listening to you guys talk, right? And JD at the beginning said, well, they haven't come out with much. And
Yeah.
that's something to pay attention to, right?
Mhm.
So the reason why they haven't come out with much is because of Hasbro, in my
Yeah.
opinion. They slowed down, and now they're thinking, all right, so we need to either innovate or just give it up, right? So I don't know if they're giving up, slowing. I don't know what they're doing, but they see so much shit that they don't come out with
Yeah.
that it
Yeah.
makes me believe that they're scared. So
I mean, look at all the Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and the Super stuff. You know what I mean? Look at all of that has been released in the last like 2 years
Right.
compared
right.
To Black
to
Series,
Star
yeah.
Wars. You know what I mean? And it seems like there's a lot more of that even coming. You know what I mean? And then no Star Wars news. So you're probably right. And then maybe they're just hanging it up and concentrating on something else.
I mean, you're gonna still see stuff. You're gonna still see them. I mean, ultimately, if they designed it already, they spent the money, right?
sure.
So now it's
yeah.
just about printing plastic, and how
Mhm.
much does that cost to do? Not much, right? So,
Mhm.
hey, you know what? These cost us $5 a piece to fucking print them out. Let's sell them for $60 and see what how we do.
Yeah.
But I want to get back to the original like pricing and stuff. We were paying these import prices from these SH Figure Arts because we were getting something that wasn't available before.
Sure.
So when Hasbro was coming out with their stormtroopers from, let's say, 8 years ago, 6 years ago, they weren't to the standard that they are now, obviously.
Mhm.
Now they've caught up, and not even caught up. I think, like you guys said, with the digital face paint, they've surpassed SH Figure Arts. But SH Figure Arts for a time was the mini Hot Toys for people who didn't have room for Hot Toys.
I
So
can see that.
you know, you guys remember when I was collecting them, I was like, well, I'm not going to collect Hot Toys, right? So I'm going to collect these because these are the closest thing to them, right? They're little, they have different arms, and different faces, blah, blah, blah. And I think that's what they were hoping was going to continue on. And then all of a sudden, boom, they got hit, you know, with a left hook from fucking Hasbro and says, you know what, we can make a product that looks better than yours. You know?
Yeah,
Um,
out of lower cost.
I haven't bought an SH Figuarts in probably a year. But how much money did I spend on those originally? You know, was it
Yeah.
3-4 grand? You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I
alcohol.
had everything and droves of them. You know, and they weren't cheap. But you know, today if I was to try to sell them, some of them, you know, some retained their value, some went up, but a lot of that shit went down too. Like all the recent movie shit isn't worth much.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because
You know,
of the movies. But the Frank brought up a good. This is something I was gonna bring up, and like SHF usually is putting out stuff that is for new fiction, new renditions, and there's not much of that going on right now.
Yeah. Like they take advantage of the movie releases and stuff like that.
But JD, to your point, they've teased tons of Star Wars stuff in the past. There's
Yes,
supposed
they
to be another Wicket. There's supposed to be another Yoda. There's supposed to be that Grievous never showed up. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Which, you know, there's definitely room to you know, for a Grievous to be put out, you know, because there's not, you know, not everybody loves that Black Series from Grievous because it's not to size, it's not to scale, you know.
Right.
You know, so there's definitely some room of opportunity there, and I feel like, you know, if they are scared or they're rethinking their tactics, it's like, you know, there is some opportunity there that they could put out figures in Star Wars to better, you know, to get that money, you know, get that share or that market share in that you know, in Star Wars, because there's other creatures and other aliens that they can do and really capture, you know what I'm saying? Like there's so much they can do other than the basic fucking characters, you know. You can go.
I also sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, go G.
I also wonder if like Lucasfilm has anything to do with that, you know what I
On
mean?
what they make.
Yeah, because I mean Hasbro's an American company that like
Yeah.
they just picking the phone up and say, hey, we want to make this. Okay, cool. Yeah, just send us some prototypes. We'll okay it, sign off, and you're good. I'm sure it's a little bit more of a hassle for a company like SH Figuarts to, you know, be able to meet whatever standards need to be met as far as like Lucasfilm or Disney or whatever, you know what I mean?
Licensee approval.
Yeah, right.
I can see that. I can see them giving them more of a short list of characters they can do in a given time, or whatever they may be, to a more domestic, you know, Hasbro company where they, you know, that list is a little longer and they don't care who they pick. They just, you know, have to let them know.
Yeah. So I wonder if that has something to do with it. It would make sense.
It's just interesting to me because it's like, you know, something like me when I was collecting, it was all about the head sculpt. Like, and it like when you collect Hot Toys, it's all about the head sculpt.
Right.
Like, you know, it's nothing to do with articulation. It's nice. I don't get me wrong.
See, Dom, I remember you always saying that for you, the figure arts was because you were buying the human characters or the Jedi, right? Or the people
for the head sculpts.
for the human head sculpt, and then you would just fill in like the armored characters with Black Series because it wasn't worth the money for you.
Right.
Where, you know, Dave, I kind of remember a couple of years ago being at your house and you talking about the clone troopers for SHF, and that you had this vision of them like scaling the walls and hanging on ropes and stuff for this display, right? So it seemed like articulation for you was the exciting part for what you envisioned, like the display, right, to look at. So I don't know. I just find it's just interesting to, you know.
And it's like, you know, since I've seen, like, you know, once because we had this discussion before even, you know, the laser planning was going to be, it was known, like, you know, mentioned, and it was a rumor that was going to happen, and we had this discussion. And, you know, granted, if you go back into Black Series head sculpts, you know, some of them is are absolute messes. But like as they started as Marvel Legends started doing it with their movieverse, and then now Black Series carried it on, and it's like now like when I looked at these recent ones, I was like, wow, like like you can't, like especially the Dooku comparison, because I was like, that Dooku on the Hasbro is just on point, like it's just right on fucking point. So
Huh.
be interesting. Yeah. But like, and then like I
maybe they're just flipping altogether. After reading that, I mean,
and I kind of agree with, like, I can see from Dave's perspective, he's absolutely right, because they haven't been putting much Star Wars stuff out there, and maybe focusing on their other licensees and putting stuff out there.
Well, if you read that comment just now, it looks like they're not focusing on much at all.
Yeah.
Did you see
Yeah,
this
it's
one?
like Dragon Ball Z or something.
Did you see this one from Nida Ren? It says, Nida Ren, what's your source on this? Because this is some
Yeah,
this is pretty interesting to say here. Lucasfilm Disney will not let Hasbro do multiple hands for Black Series for whatever reason.
I mean, didn't
They let Han Solo come with multiple hands.
yeah, he came with multiple hands.
Multiple times. Like
there's figures. Yeah, there's figures
Obi-Wan
that came out with
Kenobi
multiples,
had
yeah.
he had
the two, yeah. Yeah, they've recently been coming out with multiple hands and stuff like that. And there is some older figures that do have some multiple hands.
But that's interesting. Like, the only thing I would say that the reason why they don't let them do that is because they have other lines that are focusing on that more type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I don't know. Do kids choke on the fists, or is that?
I mean, that could have
not
something to do
PC
with
to
it,
say.
too.
Yeah, but I don't know.
That's
me,
I would
like,
probably lean towards that being more the reason why Hasbro can't do it, because of our controls here in regards to choking hazards and kids and what they're objected to and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I mean, in the same token, like
the hands can come off.
the hands can
pop off. Yeah,
it comes with a blaster, or like look at the Rose figure. She came with the little zapper thing that goes on her belt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like those are
Maz Kanata came with the
hazards
chest with the gun, and
you know what I mean? Like you take the lightsaber apart. That's a little tiny choking
Right.
hazard. You know what I mean? Like there's pieces that are even smaller than the hands.
And they do say, I think there's an age limit on the box. And,
Yeah.
But I just found it very interesting to come revisit the topic, because I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. And I did have a second topic that rolls into it, where I know you did it, Dave, where as you were getting your understanding where you were going to go with Star Wars, and I think you're leaning more towards if I'm doing Hot Toys, I'm not doing the other scales, because what's the reason? And I know you actually took in a look through your HS Figure Arts collection and actually saw some of them peaking up in value, and you said, what, let me get rid of them at this time, because the prices are getting up. And
Dom, I kind of I did a little Domonomics when it came to that, because the prices had been dropping. Like, if you were to go this time last year, you weren't getting the same bang for your buck as you would, let's say, this May or June. Obviously, everything was up, right? Because of the whole quarantine, toys, everything's just been crazy going up. But also, I knew coming out. So I knew that once the the final season, Clone Wars was dropping, that these were going to go up in value, and that's exactly what did. So anything Phase 1 or Phase 2 Troopers, they went up in value. They were going for up 150, 125 a piece, So I was selling them in lots. So what I did, because I had, it's not like I, sold the only one I had. I had probably a good 10 or 12 of each of these figures, and I just decided, hey, you know what, let's make a few bucks. And I made a pretty penny just selling 6 of these. The only reason I stopped is all of a sudden it slowed down once Hasbro started releasing the new pictures of the stuff that's coming out, the new
the Camino clone,
Trooper that's coming out and
the
everything.
501st,
Yeah.
yep.
Yo, the prices started going down again. So I said, it's not worth it. I'd rather not lose money and keep something than, just sell it just to make a few bucks back. You know what I'm saying?
And your initial intention was to keep have these. This is what you were collecting, but now when you're rethinking your collection and at this particular time, you were looking for ways to skinny your collection and getting making decisions on what lines you're going to let go, and this was one of the lines that you were letting go, and seeing the prices of where they were kind of made that decision a little easier.
Yeah, I mean, why not? If I'm not collecting it anymore, and we had this conversation today. If Hasbro's putting out product that's just as great, why do I need to hold on to these expensive little toys? So I wish I would have jumped on them a little sooner, and I would have got rid of a lot more of them, honestly.
Yeah. I'm sure a window will open up for some reason, some weird ass reason, and those some of those values. Because I know certain other figures still, regardless of how well Hasbro is doing, some of those figures, certain figures are still holding their value or are higher than what if you got in at the beginning and buying these. You're still making money because those figures have kept their value to where they're still demanding $20 to $30, $40 higher than the retail price. So. Mm-hmm. Like your Padme and all that stuff, but because that figure is like amazing, because at the end of the day they did issue a Padme in Black Series, but it didn't take off as much. Like you can still get a Hasbro Black Series Padme, and it's not in that. I don't know. Is it in that sexy outfit, or is it more in her flight outfit? I can't remember, but I know
the tight white outfit.
Yeah,
but
I think. With the black. Yeah, but like the black, I think the SH Figure Arts one that she's in the marina with a nice sexier outfit, isn't it, Dave? I can't remember.
It's the white outfit too, I think.
It's the white. It's the same outfit.
It's the same outfit.
But her midriff is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it's more of the arena.
The arena's isn't it like torn on the SHF one, Dave? It's like damaged.
Yeah. She rips it off at the.
That's
what it is. You show a little flesh.
Creature.
That's where the money's at.
Yeah. But I can see them like Hasbro putting out a figure like that, since they already have the Padme mold and just altered the mid waist or the body to show some skin. But Hasbro, if I don't there is rumors that they're saying that there's another slave Leia coming out, but
they put her up for vote. For Archive Series. Series,
yeah.
Wow.
Which Cody got voted, but I'm sure if she got put up again for vote,
Yeah.
I know a lot of people.
It was Leia the Hutt Slayer.
Yeah. But
if it was on the list, they'll be doing it regardless.
Yeah, exactly. So. JD. That's what I'm saying. It's in there. It's in their the back of their heads of doing anyway.
Yeah,
if it's like wave 5, 6, 7 down the line, you know what I'm saying?
It's on the radar. So
exactly. But
that kind of surprises me, because they said they would never there was some sort of hubbub that they would never do anything with that outfit ever again, because of the sexuality and the slave aspect, and you know what I mean? Yeah.
But I think even Brian, you posed a question to Gary, like if that Brachiosaurus ever gets to 500, would you let it go? And that's kind of like the question I'm posing.
Yes, I would.
Because I find it very hard. Like I know, like when I go through my collection, I've seen figures or items that I have that are now worth a lot more than I bought them for. But and I do get. I do go through and think of downsizing certain things in my collection. But like for certain pieces that do get to that, I guess that Braille status, if you want to say. I hate using that word, but
we can call it Gary status.
Yeah.
We'll call it Gary status.
Like Gary status. Like, I find myself very hard to let it go. Like I probably wouldn't. In regards to the fact that it is hard to get and it's a high demand figure, but believe me, there's been times where it teased me. It was it's a hard decision for myself to say, should I do it or should not do it and get rid of it. But I just wanted to share. I just wanted to for you guys to share your viewpoints on if you ever had like a figure that you know was going to worth a lot, would you just sell it knowing now, like, you know, because now we've been preaching, like, you know, a lot of these companies reissue these figures, you know, down the line. So it's like, if you want to jump on an opportunity to sell your figure for 3 times its worth, and maybe, you know, later down the road buy it for retail again when they reissue it, you know, at least you've made an extra couple dollars to basically put it back into your collection for something else.
So, you know, I'll just say this, like, you know, because I have a maybe difference of opinion than most of you guys on the panel, but not everything. Well, I'm looking at it right now. Not everything has a price. I have that Mythic Legions Rhaegar, and I don't know, right? What's he go for, Dave?
Oh,
like
250.
Okay, so Brian gifted me that figure, you know, at ToyCon a couple years ago. And look, number one, I love it, but number two, I like the story of that, because that was something I touched and kept looking at, and I didn't buy it because I was picking up Jose's, you know, SOC Voltron before the reissue, right? Good point, Dom. So I wasn't spending any extra money, you know, that weekend, because I had budgeted for that. But, you know, that's just, I'm looking at it right now. I love the figure. I love the story. And, you know, I wouldn't sell a $35 retail figure for that, just because I enjoy it more than that. But to your point, there's other stuff that I think sometimes, you know, if it fuels the collecting, then, you know, it's 90% of the time I don't have any regrets. There's a few things I kind of look back that would be really costly to replace. But, you know, at the same time, it's allowed me a lot of different interests, I guess. So I don't know.
Oh, definitely. Like, you know,
I don't buy this shit to make money. You know what I mean?
If
I'm buying extras and stuff, it's because I either want multiples of it, or like, so the Apocalypse, we were just a couple of us outside of here were talking about it the other day. I saw those Apocalypse on the shelves, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not leaving these here for a fucking scalper to pick up. So I bought everything was on the shelf, and they went to friends. You know what I mean? So
I agree, JD. The question's more towards, like, you know, say that you have items in your collection, and you're you know, you're, whether it's, you know, I had my enjoyment with this character,
Yes.
or I'm looking to skinny down my collection, and maybe rotate it to something else that I'm interested in getting right now, which maybe I just don't have the funds to purchase it. So I'm looking at my collection, which is literally money on the wall, you know, for a lot of us. And it's like, you know, we can take that check down from our wall and say, I'm going to cash this so I can buy Y, and Y is what I'm going towards now. And knowing that X, which is the check, that, you know, the item that I'm taking off the wall is now worth $800, where now I spent, like, you know, only $400 on it. So it's like, you know, I just feel like, you know, sometimes does that go into your decision making when you know you're still, you know, when you're making those types of decisions to move over to the next figures, or finance your next you know, line of figures that you're getting into.
I mean, yeah, I get it. Like, if everybody wants any fig arts, some Star Wars fig arts. You know what I mean?
But that's, like I'm saying, like, you know, now
I've
it's
said
like going
this,
that route.
I should have, it's a broken record, but I love when the collection kind of fuels itself and gets me equally excited to try something new or get something new. That's your point, Dom. I view enjoying the displays and having stuff, because I don't have anything in storage. I have stuff it's out. I've always done that. The only thing I ever did to store and hold on to was silly Gary Power of the Force stuff, right, from the 90s, you know, back then. I had totes and totes and bins of that
Gold,
stuff.
I tell you, it's gold.
Yeah, but, you know, I love, you know, that I can keep enjoying it as far as the hobby goes. And, you know, again, there's a sense of, like, there's value in having it and enjoying it. So it's not about making the money. I don't do this to make money off it either. But if the collection does continue to kind of just self-evolve that way, yeah, I think that's awesome. And I've said many times how my Motu Classics got me into third-party Transformers, you know, with some of the costs there, and really not letting you feel it, right, so much.
Yeah.
And
And you're not alone, Gary. Guys, when I
So-
watch other people and other reviewers and other people who are in the collecting community and they're on a platform like this who talk, sometimes they like when you hear them, they have that discussion. They have, I'm looking to go into something else, and right now I don't have the funds to dip into my regular paycheck and all that stuff or my savings, but I do have this stuff on this wall that I could I enjoyed it. Now it's the time for me to let it go because I do want to get into this other stuff, whether it's more
the old
expensive.
saying, bro. It's the
Yep.
old saying, sell to survive, right?
Yep,
We used to
yeah.
say that all the
Yeah,
time,
there
right?
you go.
And self to survive is not like you're surviving just to pay off bills or an emergent accident. I feel like to self survive is sometimes saying you maybe want to sell your stuff to get into something else because you don't want to dip into your regular
Right.
your savings to keep care of that other type of stuff. So
Right.
it's like it's something that I've learned. Like I felt like I picked up very quickly where when I do have capital to spend, I spent it on toys to where then later down the road I can have my collection or my inventory fund my collection when the time comes. Like it's just I can sell things, put it back into, and then take that money and put it back into the collection and just keep it revolving depending on because half the time I'm probably going to get duds and some where
Yeah.
they're going to be below market
you're
value.
You're talking something a little different, Dom. As
I know.
opposed to the question you asked us.
I'm in a different. I'm in a different.
You're in a different ballpark,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. But I took. I'm just taking that type of recourse and using it. But if I didn't though, there would a lot of the stuff that I would have that I said maybe it didn't have doubles of or triples or whatever the case may be. The buying it for turning it later on after I had it for several years. But the thing is that I might look into my collection and sell things to just get into other things because I just don't want to dip into my regular funds. You know what I'm saying? So
There's nothing wrong with that. I think that's a
No,
very
no,
smart
no.
thing to do, too,
and I think a lot of people do that. Like when I listen to reviewers, I see that they
Not
they
idiots
build.
like me don't.
But I've seen reviewers especially whether it's in Hot Toys game or statue game, they like a lot of people say ask the question and where do you get all this money for all this stuff? And it's like the number one answer is that I built a collection where I basically rotate it. I rotate it through. So whatever items I have or statue that I love for a while and now I want to let it go, I let it go and I buy something new that I can enjoy. And I built that capital of what your collection is, and obviously over time your tastes do change, and you can then recycle that capital into liquidate that capital to move it into another collection that you might want to be interested in getting into. So it's just that I just a thing I saw, and I just wanted to hear you guys' viewpoints and just what do you think?
No, I think it's a cool question, Dom, because I think it's all with the way things are evolving, and just coming back to your original point. Black Series getting better, Marvel Legends getting better. New Motu stuff coming out that's going to integrate new cartoons and classic style figures, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the different reissues. There's always so much stuff in flux. I feel like that sometimes it's good to keep that in mind as an alternative, that collecting doesn't mean necessarily amassing for everything, and it's okay to have interests that maybe ebb and flow just a little bit, and sometimes come back around full circle.
Yeah, and you don't have to kill your. I feel like sometimes you don't got to get into. Just keep amassing, like you said, Gary. Keep amassing, and all of a sudden, now you're getting into trouble and dipping into dollars that you're not supposed to be dipping into, and then all of a sudden, you might want to just look at your collection and say, hey, I had this
Who's
stuff.
gonna go?
Yeah, who's gonna
Yeah,
go?
but-
Who did I have fun with, and
but
I'm ready to move on to the next thing.
It's not always I think just about the money aspect though, right? Or dipping. Most people I think are pretty responsible, but I only speak for myself. I won't pour words in anybody's mouth. But Chris, Pinkerton posed an interesting question in the group that a lot of people commented on, pretty heartfelt, where he was saying, hey, admit something with no judgment about your collecting. And I think it was just hearing people talk and just sharing how they don't always have as much fun with it. Sometimes it feels like a burden. Sometimes the curating of it.
When was this question?
I think he posted it
I didn't
yesterday,
see it.
right around the beginning of ETR.
Oh.
I don't know, but it basically, I'm kind of paraphrasing, but he was just like, hey, share something that you admit about your collecting, without any judgment, that someone might not know, or and it was just a lot of discussions around, some people revealed some things they like to buy that to be fun.
Yeah,
but there was a lot of posts there about people collecting multiple lines, either out of obligation or the whole FOMO, or that sometimes they feel that the collection is more of a burden than enjoyment. So I'm not trying to go down that route, I guess, in the conversation, but I think to your point again, Dom, is like, it's, if you're cycling stuff through, sometimes
it doesn't become a burden to you. It doesn't, like, you know what I'm saying?
And it's almost like if you ever win, like, I don't gamble, so that's not a good example. But like, if you ever get like a scratch off lottery ticket and you scratch off like $50, like, I guess that's not a life changing like prize, right? Mm-hmm. But that's something fun you can do that you don't have to think about. It's like fun money, I guess, maybe. I don't know if you guys think of it that way. So when you recycle parts of the collection, like I said, that maybe I'll splurge and get something I wouldn't normally buy, and I don't have to have any worries or repercussions about it because it came from other stuff, right?
Yeah,
it's just like,
I think it's like the only reason I bring it up, Gary, because at the end of the day, I find it very hard for me to let go of certain collections because I'm so into it. Like, I've been into it, so it's like, for me to let go of my Black Series collection, it would be a hard decision, and which I don't think I'd be able to make, because at the end of the day, it's like, I would love to sell my Black Series collection. I probably, if I sold my Black Series collection, I probably could have bought like 6, 7, 8 other Hot Toys, or maybe 4 other statues that I probably would love to get right now, which I'm not getting because I don't want to bury myself too deep in a hole. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like, so
no, but let me ask you guys this question: do you ever feel like, I don't want to use the words like you'd be letting someone down or you'd be disappointing somebody else, but do you ever feel like it's like an expectation that you now have to continue to buy that line or be associated with that line?
No, like,
you know what I mean?
but like, yeah, it's just,
right?
To me, when I start like thinking about it, I'm like, well, I'm so into it. I'm so deep into it that I, like, if I let go now, like, and if I ever have regrets, or if I ever feel like I want to get back into it, it's just going to be hard for me to get back into it. Which that's just a bullshit excuse, because you can always get,
So when say into
if I
mean like monetarily, Dom? I just want to clarify. Like, it's like you're invested, you spent money versus like into it, like you love it.
Not even the money, just
it's not the money. Yeah,
far into
like I've done so much.
Hundreds
I've spent
of
so much time hunting
collected
these figures down, and I've invested my time and my blood and my sweat to get some of these figures, and it's like, to let them go so easily, which it's not. I'm not saying it's it's.
But I know you love the hunt. Don't you think you would just hunt something different then?
Gary, you're exactly right. Like, I was thinking last night, I was like, dude, I could have let go of all my Black Series and get into this new wave that they're starting with, the new box wave. You know what I'm saying? Like I can get rid of all my black and whites, my fucking yellow, my red, my orange, my blues, and just restart and just come to, because they're all. It seems like they're going to do all of them again and even better.
Well, that's the thing is, look, they're at least the same, if not better, when they come out. I can't think of one character that people look at and be like, oh no, the original was better. They should have left it alone. You know what I mean? Like I can't. Like I can't. It's like either they just issue the same figure again, or they've made some type of improvement with paint or something.
Dude, I can't, Gary. I can't begin to tell you how many times I've had this discussion with Dave and all, even some of you guys, and there's a part of me that I just can't let go. And the funny thing is that I would love to, it's not like I'm able to do what I'm doing now and not be, not have come to the point where I have to make a decision like that. But I can see it coming in my future. You know what I'm saying? I could see something like that, driving the force, where I'm like, okay, I got to let go of some of the collection. I need something to get let go, because, if I want to continue collecting X, Y, and Z, I got to get something rid of.
All you have to do is, outside of anyone who's listening, and those of you who have done it, you will understand with the collection, but go ahead and move. right?
Yeah,
And do
yeah,
do a
yeah.
full blown reload, and then do it again like in less than 3 years,
Two
and
times.
and you will not have that attachment anymore. You'll be so over it so quickly. You'll be able to, I think, isolate what really you enjoy the most and what else is just taking up space really, really quickly.
It's funny that you say that, Gary, because
Like-
I'm in a position right now where I'm like moving my collection, and and these thoughts are thoughts are coming up.
You
like,
just get sick of it. You know what I mean? You just realize it's just, and then the worry about packing it nicely and then making sure you don't lose anything or then break anything. And you guys just did all that. I mean, a totally different setting, but I know you did the help out with from Mike. Totally different. I get it. I'm not comparing the two.
Yeah.
But you see how much time it takes.
Oh,
It's a really great way to realize, hey, these are the things that really matter to me, that I really am truly enjoying the most, and then the other stuff, I don't even need it.
I agree with you, Gary.
I can totally see that, but to go back on Dom's point, like some of it I have a hard time. Like
I know you do. Like I know you
still
share
have
my
all
feelings.
my Power of the Force stuff, man. Is in just as you described it, Gary. It is in bins, like stacked and stacked and stacked. But I'm like, I don't know.
See,
like
I say get rid of it, JD, but now there's part of me that as soon as you said, like, I would love to come look at that and just spend a couple hours and sort and look at it. So I'm jealous.
We'll play.
Yeah. Oh God,
like my Chug collection.
That sounds so fun.
I'd love to, I'd love to be able to get rid of it, but I'm like, I mean, these are what I started. This is what started the Transformer collecting again.
Yeah,
a lot
There's
of
so many
memories, universe and
like so many memories tied into everything I bought. Like, I was going through some of my third-party stuff, and some of the old 30-part study, I used to buy them at conventions, and when I looked at some of them when I'm pulling them out, and I was like, I remember, like, it brought me feelings to that convention and all the friends and everything I met, like, all the people I met, and the actors and voice actors that I met during that. Like, I know that, like, it brings me back to some of those times. And
well, we've all bought show purchases, right? Just so you buy something for the show, and that was kind of neat when Dave was playing the clips last week. I know I had to pop in and out with some stuff going on at the house that had to get resolved, but the just hearing Dust talk about picking up the KFC cassettes at NJCC, right?
Yep, and he showed the pictures of them. Yep.
Yeah, and he still got them, which is cool.
I still got them. Yeah.
But how many of us have been? I got to get something here. I can't go home empty-handed, because that's the worst feeling. Is to not spend any of your money.
It's just Brian, your thoughts? Any? I know you've been quiet.
I feel like such an idiot for not selling off half this collection in the last 4 months. Because all those prices, man, those mythics, people were just throwing money away on those damn things.
I mean,
that
some people still are.
Yeah, I mean, I think about the Transformers. Like, I don't think I would have sold those, but I should have dumped the Star Wars figure art stuff. I think the stuff that I've never that I don't care about, like the New Hope cast. I would never get rid of those, but it's like, I don't know if I really need a Jedi Luke anymore. It's just the franchise to me is really wishy-washy. Like when I get bored of the movie and just turn it off, like that. When was the last time I did that for Star Wars? Never. No,
Never.
I did it last week. I was like, yeah, I get it. All right, and then I moved on to something else. But I think I'm just in a funny mood that way. But it's and then of course I have this Marvel collection, which probably is not really commanding any money right now. But it's there's just clutter that needs to get rid of. That I need to get rid of it, and I'm not sure what to. I should have just taken the time and done it. Basically go to the post office once a week, mail everything out, type stuff. But I don't know. But there's times where I sit back and I'm like, you know what? I want to build a certain display of toys, and I want to get back to things that I talked about a couple years ago. It's like, put something together, put it away, rotate, put something else there for a bit. Look at that. Because our interests are going to ebb and flow based on what's hot, right? So, and it happens. Like, I still have my Ahsoka and Clone Trooper display that I put together real quick, at with the Clone Wars, and then eventually Star Wars is going to come back around. Mandalorian comes back in October. Like, all right,
Yeah, that'll do
it's
it.
gonna rekindle it again, and I'm gonna want to put up a display for that. So in hindsight, I'm kind of glad I didn't sell, but in dude, I got mythics in totes that I should. There's no rotating of those. I don't even know what the hell to do with those at this point. But basically, all of that stuff it's impulse purchasing. All the mythics are impulse purchasing. I mean, I've probably got 20 on display in this room as I look around all over the place. Ones that I do kind of like and like fooling around with every once in a while. But then I got some that I picked up because they look so good, but I really don't have room to mess with them. And I don't know. Again, delusions of, oh, this one will look good with this one, and this one will look good with this one. But eventually, I don't know. Shit, the way Chris is pumping out stuff, I might have fucking gray walls with windows all over my shelves here by the end of the year. I mean, so maybe I will have room to display them all. Okay, I just paid that credit card bill earlier while we were doing the show, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Damn you, Crashbox.
Yeah, I just find myself thinking like, especially this year, because there's this year it gives you the ability to think a lot because of all the crap, just staying at home and not not doing as normal activities you would typically do. But like, yeah, I just fucking like, there's a part of me like says like, if I went back to myself in the past where I had a more focused mind, what does he say?
Gundam is not phase life.
Yep. But like the thing is that I was so like, if I went back to tell myself in the past when I was so focused on just doing like Transformers, I remember there was a day where I was just doing Transformers and that's all I wanted to do. And now it's like I got into fucking Star Wars, Black Series, and this is all like, it wasn't me chasing down vintage stuff or old stuff that came back in the 80s. This is like new line stuff that I felt like, it's not gonna be a problem. $20 here, $20 there, no problem. But it fucking then adds up, and it's like all of a sudden I'm looking at these collections that I got myself into, and the money that I probably spent on these other roads that I went down probably would have finished a lot of the original focus that I was focusing on, originally.
Dom,
it just hurts.
we love you, but you are the guy that put together a complete collection of Pirates of Darkwater, right?
Yes, yeah. I did. I even bought the fucking ship. Like,
God.
And that was just from walking in ZoloCon, finding the figures on a table, and I'm like, you know what? I need to buy all of them. What came out in this line? And it's like, and I looked into it. I knew there was a ship, and I bought the ship afterwards. And it's like, granted, like, I love that I have it. Don't get me wrong. Like, I would say 80% of my collecting is in the enjoyment of the possession of it. Like, what I'm saying? Like,
sure. Nothing wrong with that.
I will eventually get time to love it as I display it, but the possession of it is what I love about it, because I have it. It's mine. It's in my closet. It's in my fucking basement. It's in my crawl space. Nobody can tell me different. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel weird. Like, there's so many times I'm like thinking to myself and just like, what the fuck? Like, why did I get into that? Like, I could have just saved that money and put it into Transformers and finish off my original focus perspective that I had. And it just doesn't exist anymore.
Dom, I think back to when I started really doing this and like kind of making up rules for myself. Like, it was always Transformers in the beginning, right? Hercules got started off, and I was like, well, I'm always going to collect all the primes. I mean, that's a rule of mine. I collect primes, and then started seeing this third-party Chug come out and stuff, and I was like, oh, I could get some of these, and it'll work. And I wasn't going to get into Masterpiece until I had a Transformers pen pal. He's like, did you by chance see that Fans Toys Shockwave? And I was like, yeah. It's like, but I'm chasing after the War for Cybertron. I'm looking to get a good deal on that. And he's like, well, it's Masterpiece scale. And then I thought about it, and I was like, wait a minute. There's third parties escalating, they're moving. Like, because, you know, back then I was like, oh, well, you know, Takara, the company, they're just going to make everything. And
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
But then when third party, like, he's like, yeah, that what the hell's the name of the fan?
Soundwave.
Quakewave.
Quakewave,
He's like,
yeah.
Wait, shocker.
he's like, no, third party's going to be making masterpiece scale, and I was like, oh, I got to rethink my life, you know.
Yeah.
It's
And
like,
believe me,
I
everybody
think this
broke
is
that.
something that I want to do. Like, I ended up going back and chasing down the sideswipe and all that stuff because I passed up on that. And but then, you know, I think about the 112 collection.
Mhm.
And, you know, I remember, like, you know, I was like, you know what, Brian, they are making really cool characters of things that you like. He's like, you know what you should do is create a focused collection of 6-inch scale figures and choose like one character from each franchise that you identify with most and make a display out of it. And I was like, oh, you know what, a fantastic idea.
That's a really good idea, actually.
Yeah, you know what? And I was like,
It's
all right,
really good.
I got the He-Man. I picked up Donatello. I picked up like a Terminator figure. I found a Batman figure I really liked, and I forget what else I picked up. But God damn it, well, didn't last long, and now here I am just getting all the characters from all the lines, you know, kind of stuff.
But
And I'm like, where did that rule go? Like, that was such a good rule. It was such a good rule. Oh, I picked up that Thor too. I picked up the Figma Thor. I was like, Thor, I like him as he's the Avenger I like most. Turns out that was a lie. I mean, I like Cap the most, but you know, it's,
Well, it's
I agree. It's like that rule was broken even for me, Brian. Like I felt like I'm just doing official MP,
Oh,
no master, no
Black
third party.
Series. Black Series. All I need is a Stormtrooper and R2D2. Like that will be representative of enough for my Star Wars collection.
Nope.
God damn.
As the sixth Luke you buy.
it's hard though. This is probably like a year and a half ago. It was on again as I'm building up to it, and I know Chris was talking about that. You don't need. He was comfortable with not having a representation of a character from every franchise just because he enjoyed the fiction or he enjoyed the, and then he and Paul talked a little bit more, and that kind of stood out to me. It's so I was, like Bill and Ted is a good one, right? Not just because of the movie that Chan. I'm sorry, I know you liked it a lot more than I did, but it's okay. It was still fun. But that first movie, like I loved that movie long before it was like kind of had a cult following. And they did those toys from the cartoon, for a little while in like the early '90s, which are really poor, right? And then NECA did them, and then I forget what it's called. There's another company that just is putting them out with like a phone booth and stuff. And the more I looked at them, I was like, oh, maybe I'll pick up one of each of them. And then the more I looked, I'm like, I don't really like how they look. They don't really look great to me. And I just kind of finally was like, no, it's okay to like that story and like that movie and not have to have a physical 3D representation of it to signify your enjoyment of it, I guess, if you just didn't love it. So I don't know, Brian, your original logic is awesome. I think you need to I'm going to start thinking that way myself.
I'm sure, Brian, push comes to shove. There's no reason why, right now with the collection that you amassed, you can probably get back to that. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you can ever, and if you change like your rules and now with what you have, you might, alter it a little less than what you currently have to just, but it to bring your, bring to a whole collection that you're going to be happy with, and I'm skinning my collection to the point where I'm happy. That's where I am.
But see, I like what Brian said, Dom, because it wasn't so much like a rule.
Yeah, it was a guideline, kind of,
it was just more of a thought, right? That's a cool thing. Maybe I know it's getting a little bit later, but that might be a good spot to kind of think on for next week a little bit, because I know we often do say, oh, I'll do just this season, right? Season 1 and 2 in the movie for Transformers, and then people are like, no, I'm going to stick to whatever the original the movie, or I'm just going to do Empire. I'll just do the Clone Wars series, and I'll stick to figures there, because those parameters seem to help manage it, where that's a very interesting thought process about who do you identify with and kind of have a reason for, and stick to it that way. It's interesting. It's a good thought.
I agree. Rules are meant to be broken. I've
Right,
broken
exactly.
a lot of mine. So
I never set rules ever.
you're a smart
was
man, JD. You're smart.
I was just like, you know what? Whatever I like, whatever tickles my bum, however you want to put it. You know, just going in.
So I found it. I found it.
You
found
found.
Here it is. This was my. This was basically.
Oh my
My
god,
s-
get that. I hate that thing. I hate that thing.
What, the ET?
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Awful.
Dude, I was like, this is all I need. I'm like, I'm good to go. The character I identify with from every franchise. Thor's not here yet. He didn't make it. And of course,
Dude.
my MPO one, Optimus Prime. There it is.
Brian, that is a phenomenal display. Like that's
It-
really
it-
cool, man.
It
That's
touches
really
on a lot. Yeah, it's a
it
widespread
does.
touch. Yep.
Listen, you just need to recreate that and keep your Mega Constructs Motu stuff. And I think
Yeah.
Oh, he froze. Gary
He
froze.
froze.
But yeah, like I share your thoughts, Brian. I really do. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that I thought I was going to go down with.
I took that
I'm
picture.
sorry, Gary. You skipped Gary. You skipped.
oh, I did. No,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was just
You
saying.
froze.
I just said that I thought that picture was phenomenal. And
2015. I took that.
Brian, I think if you recreated that in your room and then your Mega Constructs Motu, I think you'd just be a super happy guy with all your
I
stuff.
think I
man.
would. Yeah,
'Cause
probably would.
You know, that was a cool display.
Oh, check it out. Night of Rens goes, I have that art. Yes, yeah, he won it in a giveaway. He has that R2 now. Oh, he certainly
That's
does.
awesome.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Cool.
So you guys want to close off? You want to,
Yeah, it's just say
yeah.
we call it there. It's a little bit later, and
we ran
We're
over
reaching Gary's
2
bedtime
hours
here.
almost,
So.
Yeah.
yeah, I know, right? It's almost 10 o'clock. I'm doing
Yeah.
pretty good tonight.
We want to run down where they can find you guys. Where can you find you, Brink?
Hey, at Brink Lives on Instagram. Brian Brink in the Facebook groups. And I think we have some banging to do tomorrow. JD.
Something tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah.
So tune in tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see what Ace has in store for us.
Crazy Wednesday nights. What about you, Gary? Where they can find you?
Find me with you guys on Tuesdays and Gary Allen in the Facebook groups. Be there.
JD, where can they find you?
Here every Tuesday with you fine fellers. Wednesdays on Figure Banging and Shelf Gravy and Pigment Surgery on Instagram and Xbox Live and Shelf Gravy everywhere on social media.
You could find me here in the groups, Dominic Rosso, and Tuesday night with these guys. Also, I just want to remind, I guess Hasbro PulseCon is coming up. Like, is that tomorrow? Is it 22nd, 23rd, or 23rd, 24th? I can't remember. When they're releasing their figures, so I think it's Premier members are.
You're not supposed to
first.
announce it. We got to make sure we get ours first. Then you put the link up and be like, "Oh, hey guys,
come on,
good luck."
share love, peace,
I know.
happiness. But I think it's available for Premier members. Check your account, guys, because I'm still a Premier member. I remember I joined the first week. I think they gave you Premier access available that first week if you purchased something, and I think if you kept purchasing things, I've been on doing their HasLab since Unicron and buying things from them. So I'm still a Premier member. So check your accounts. When you go into your account summary, you should see a Premier member on your top of your account if you just check.
I'll have those exclusives before you do.
Yeah. So good luck, to all the guys who are looking for something, and you can run the clip for all the other shows that are here, right, Brian? Are you going to run that clip, or should we just?
Yeah, I'll run the clip, Dom. You want
Thank
the
you.
clip?
I want the
What
clip.
Tom?
Awesome. So good night, boys. Good night. Thank you, and see you next week. Enjoy the rest of the shows for the rest of the week, and see you next here Tuesday tomorrow next week. Run that.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Oh,
See you later.
Captain Thumb.
Bye, Internet.
Say it with me now. Rail.